Hey guys, it's Vanessa and welcome back to my channel. I have another What's for Dinner for you guys, where I share with you some of the meals that my blended family of 6 and I had throughout the week.
Been losing my focus.
For Sunday dinner, I wanted to go back to my childhood and I made corned beef hash just like Mom used to make it.
Looking for something to change thoughts into motion. Been waiting way too long.
For a couple months, I had been complaining to you guys I couldn't find big russets. Do you see the size of these? I had to buy a 10-pound bag, but it was still worth it because we had some delicious baked potatoes. I also have 2 kind of small turnips here, and then of course the canned corned beef, and I just show you here at our grocery store. It's about $4 for a can, and then I saw this can below. I've never tried this stuff. Leave a comment down below if you guys have. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and prep all of our vegetables. I just like to cut my turnip in half. Be very careful because they are very tough. Then I cut them into kind of these half moon shapes. And of course, you guys know I always have my garbage bowl right beside me to put all my scraps in. I'm just going to use my little Tefal paring knife. These are pretty affordable. I got a 2-pack for like $6. There's some rust on them though. So guys, don't put your knives in the dishwasher. 1, they will rust, and 2, they will dull. So I'm going to go ahead, peel up all of my turnip, and then I'll use my chef's knife to cut them into bite-sized pieces just so that they cook a little bit quicker.
I was out driving every mile, and now if I rewind, it's all been a waste of time. It's all been a waste of time.
Now I'm going to go ahead and peel up those potatoes. I actually ended up peeling 2 additional ones, but I didn't show it here. Do you guys use a paring knife to peel potatoes or an actual vegetable peeler? I just always grew up using a paring knife and kind of peeling it into the palm of my hand. Knock on wood, I haven't had any injuries as of yet.
It's all been a waste of time. I was out driving every mile, and now if I rewind, it's all been a waste of time.
I'm going to go ahead and boil both of my vegetables separately just because they do take different times. Turnip usually take closer to about 40 minutes and potatoes around 25 minutes. And I do salt them generously because it's really one of the only points in this recipe where I'm going to add any salt. The next thing you're going to want to do is just kind of warm and slightly crisp up your corned beef. I just have it on a medium heat and I'm warming it through with lots and lots of pepper and waiting till it develops kind of a little bit of a brown crust, but not too much. You don't want to burn it. At this point, the process is pretty simple. Combine your turnips with your potatoes and mash them together. I like to add a little bit of butter, and then I'm going to add my corned beef and stir it all together. I prefer the texture, which is why I choose to stir it in. I know this may seem like a bizarre recipe to share with you guys, but for me, it really does remind me of my childhood. We didn't grow up with very much money, but if I can say one thing, my mom always made sure we had really full and satisfied bellies. And I'm telling you, with corned beef hash and a piece of bread and butter, I was literally 10 years old again. It was amazing, you guys. I say, please give this a try and let me know if you did. And of course, you know, I have to load everything with pepper. So on Monday night, it was super hot outside. We decided we were going to have BLTs with some tater tots. Now, I have shown you guys in the past, I've cooked bacon on my stovetop in a pan, just with the lid on super low heat, but this is another great way to cook it. I've shown you guys this method as well. I cook it at 400 degrees on a cookie sheet lined with aluminum foil, just for an easier cleanup. And it usually takes anywhere from 20 to 27 minutes or so. It really just depends on your bacon and the fat content, but I throw it into my oven, let it sit for about 20 minutes, check on it, and this one on this day took about 27 minutes.
Need you here to say you're sorry, 'cause if you're gonna leave me, then just do it. Don't take it slow, don't be gentle. No, I just gotta know, if you're gonna leave me, then just do it.
Here I have some beautiful on the vine tomatoes that I got in my last grocery haul. I like to cut them fairly thick because it is a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich after all. I just lined them up on a plate, and then I went ahead and washed up some lettuce and threw that on there as well.
Let's be honest.
Now, I decided to go ahead and deep fry on my stovetop tonight. Now, I just like to lay out a piece of paper towel with a cooling rack to help drain whatever it is that I'm deep frying. Now, an old school way to check if your oil's ready, whether you believe it or not, it's always worked for me. I stick the end of my wooden spoon in. If the bubbles start to come to the surface within 1 to 2 seconds, then I know the oil's ready and I can get deep frying. I'm just going to go ahead and layer some in, but not too many because you don't want them to stick together.
Let me see who you are, who you really are. Yeah, don't need you here to say you're sorry, 'cause if you're gonna leave me.
And always remember, if you're deep frying, don't fill your pot more than halfway and never walk away from your pot.
Just gotta know, if you're gonna leave me, then just do it.
I just cooked these till they were lightly golden brown, and you could season them with salt, or Lowry salt would be really good too. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the bacon out, and you guys, when you see this, it's delicious.
Don't need you here to say you're sorry, 'cause if you're gonna leave me, then just do it. Don't take it slow, don't be gentle. No, I just gotta know, if you're gonna leave me, then just do it.
So if you're not new to my channel, you have seen this bread on every grocery haul, and if you've watched my vlogs, you've seen me make countless grilled cheese with it. It's just a regular white bread, but it's a bakery artisan bread. It's super, super delicious, and it holds up to these kinds of sandwiches. So all I did was toast it up, spread on some Miracle Whip, and layered on my bacon, lettuce, and tomato.
Shouldn't have said you let your guard down, so I let my guard down too. You are still the one, can't pretend that you're not, so I won't, no I won't.
So Tuesday night, I decided to make some light Alfredo bow ties. You're going to need a deep skillet for this one. Now, Alfredo sauce originally is just Parmesan cheese and butter, actually, if you want to be super original. And then apparently we Americanized it or Canadianized it and added cream. I'm not going to use cream today. I am going to use real butter and real Parmesan cheese, but to keep it light, and just because real milk and cream upsets my stomach, we're going to use milk. But if you guys want to use cream, you can go ahead. It's a super basic recipe. You can kind of change it around, and it'll still be delicious. Now I had some grated broccoli in the freezer that I decided I want to throw in my sauce as well, just to kind of make it a little more healthy and freshen it up a little bit. I am using Bowties. You could use fettuccine, but Bowties are my favorite. What's your favorite pasta? I'm also going to add a little lemon juice and some garlic.
That I'm no good with words, for what it's worth. You are still the one.
Now, over a medium heat, go ahead and melt your 4 tablespoons of butter in your skillet. Then I'm going to put about a tablespoon of the garlic paste and just kind of let that marry together and create kind of that garlic butter taste. Super, super good. If you're not a garlic fan, you can always leave this part out.
Still dance with me when the party is over. Problems, well damn it, I don't.
Now, you're going to see in a little bit, I made a bit of a mistake and my cheese separated a bit, and it's because partially my heat was too high. Just make sure when you're making Alfredo that you're very patient and you're on almost a medium-low heat. Very low, you never want it to come to a boil or even a high simmer. So at this point, I'm still doing good. My sauce isn't separating. I'm going to add a little bit of lemon juice. And again, it's very low heat. I don't want to do this very high at all. Once it's been cooking for about 5-6 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and add my cheese. Now I added shredded Parmesan. Ideally I would have added grated. That would have combined a little bit better, and I would have taken it off the heat and added it in slower amounts to give it a chance to really melt. So of course what happened to mine is it immediately started to make my sauce separate a little bit and my cheese kind of clumped together. You guys, it was still delicious. I added the broccoli in. It was amazing. Everybody devoured it, had a few plates, and even ate it the next day. So while that's all marrying together, I'm gonna go ahead and boil up my Bowties. You guys know I always put some olive oil in my pasta. It just helps to keep it from sticking when it's all ready to go. Once this is done, I'm gonna spoon it right into the sauce and help hopefully thicken it a little bit.
The old ways get washed out by
Here I'm showing you what I'm talking about. That's basically little clumps of Parmesan cheese that didn't melt into my sauce. But I'm telling you, when these mistakes happen, I feel like I just create new recipes, because this actually turned out to be super delicious. And Jamie said, yet again, this is one of the best things I've ever made.
If you try to get some sleep, if you give up the fight, if only just for a bit, there's a new day to leave behind your troubles. There's a new day.
We finished off the week on Wednesday because if I'm honest, on Thursday we got Chinese food takeout for supper. But I thought, let's keep it simple and do pizza grilled cheese. Have you guys ever done this? It's probably one of my favorite ways to eat them. Now, all I'm using, of course, you guys know my favorite artisan bread. I'm using the Monterey Jack cheese. I'm going to shred some of that out with the mozzarella, some crumbled bacon, pepperoni, and we use basil, but of course you could use butter.
Got to keep holding on through the night, 'cause I promise.
Now, like anytime I make a grilled cheese, I like to build it in the pan, but especially with a pizza one, just because it can get a little bit awkward to carry. All I'm gonna do is lay butter side down, and I'm gonna add my favorite pizza sauce. You guys add whatever kind or as much as you'd like. Now, I should have added the Parmesan cheese and oregano, but you'll see I'm gonna do that later. I added some bacon crumbles and my favorite dry cured pepperoni from Pizza Delight. Comment down below if you guys have ever tried it. It's super, super good.
There's a new day.
I just have this neat little grater that I got from the Dollarama, so I'm gonna grate it right onto my sandwich, some of that Monterey Jack cheese. Now don't worry if some spills into the pan, that's the best part, you guys. Just scrape it right up onto the sides of your bread and it'll make it extra crispy. I'm gonna top it off with some mozzarella cheese, and this is when I realized I forgot the Parmesan and the oregano, but don't fret, there's not a lot you can't come back from in the kitchen, as we saw with my sauce. So here I am taking my silicone spatula and brushing it all up onto the sides and letting it go till it gets crispy. You want to do this on medium heat so you don't burn your bread and your cheese has a chance to melt.
I've been thinking about my options, every detail in my head, but it doesn't really matter, nothing matters, so I cry instead.
Okay, so the best part about this grilled cheese, you see all those pretty Pinterest pictures of pizza grilled cheese with pepperoni on them? Well, this is how they do it. Just throw some cheese in the bottom of your nonstick pan, add a few slices of pepperoni, and then throw your sandwich right on top. This is only going to take about 30 or 45 seconds to cook up, and stick to the top of your sandwich, and it's going to be delicious, and it's crispy and salty. This step you don't want to skip. It's absolutely worth it. All I did, you guys, was serve this up with a side of pizza sauce. It was perfect.
Worked for and vanished in the blink of an eye. I've been asking every question, 'cause I haven't got a clue. Why's it gotta be me? What the hell am I supposed to do?
And there you have it, a few of the meals we enjoyed this week. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and take a second to subscribe and leave a comment down below. You know I love to comment back. I hope you guys are having an awesome week, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care.
Think I can, but I ain't got nothing there.